Where I went to medical school, the focus was very much on, they called care of the whole person, and they kind of pushed us to look past what we could see to the whole context of the patient's life. So I think at some point during my early training, I picked up on how that was important. And when I came to Philadelphia, I saw how much trauma exists among the patients that we take care of, and how sustained the trauma is, and how it goes from the very beginning of their life up until the point we see them and beyond. I have never had to struggle about where my next meal is coming from or if I can make rent. And those are very common experiences for our patients. So it's very hard for providers to really look at and understand the context that these people live in, and to understand that trauma has a huge impact. But when I have talked to the residents, I've used examples of imagine a time that you felt fearful or afraid, and imagine that that's constant for you. That is a pervasive, ongoing struggle. That is a constant stressor in their lives. It doesn't go away when they go home. And I think that that's actually made an impact in their understanding of STSR. Any person comes to the doctor's office, they see their doctor, their blood pressure goes up, you need to repeat the blood pressure measurement. But when it comes to actually seeing that in people who are potentially younger and are better at looking like they're not affected, but they are, that's a little bit more of an art. And you have to really be in tune to the person and their body language and what they're telling you and not telling you. Oftentimes, if there's a sense of disconnect, that's a time when they need to look further into possible symptoms of STSR. So if somebody looks like they're not engaged, not interested, it's not a reason to write them off, it's a reason to dig a little bit deeper. You go in the room, you physically sit down, you look at them, you let them know that you're there for them, and you ask questions of them about their circumstances, not just about the body part that's injured. And that question alone, what was the barrier for you? What's the challenge? Where is your difficulty? They open up automatically. It really is a matter of really connecting with the patient and asking what is their story? What are the factors that influence their care? A lot of it comes down to really just trying to connect with the patient and demonstrating that as we go, that I'm able to get a lot more information from a patient when I am able to understand how STSR impacts them and impacts their care. It changes completely how I engage with the patient. It changes how I question the patient. It changes what the patient tells me. And when I can demonstrate that to a trainee, that's when they realize there's maybe a little bit more to this than I thought. So as providers, we come here every day for work. To us, it's routine. It's where we work. We understand it well. For people who are suffering from STSR, what they experience when they come here may be very different. They see it as a place that is often very frightening, very overwhelming, and in a lot of cases they've had some negative experiences involving hospitals. They've lost loved ones here, they've been injured here, and so coming back to the hospital is not normal, nor is it healing and happy. It can be a very stressful time for these people. When the patient's needs are met, when STSR is understood as a part of their life, and when we can adequately address that, we will have patients who will have better compliance. They will have fewer return visits to the emergency department for violent injuries. They will be moving forward in their lives in very productive ways, and that's what we know from the evidence. And so I think to be a part of that is something I consider a privilege. It's not just about giving great high quality care that's evidence-based. I need to ask the right questions. I need to understand where people are coming from when they see that difference.